Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So it's not super obvious because of the lighting and also because my hair is currently up, but I did change my hair color while I was in China, so I'm gonna do a makeup look that kind of like matches with it. So I got like these red highlights in my hair. I did catch a little bit of a cold on the way back, so I sound a little more like my gender identity, which is nice. That's the one perk of being sick, is that I like how my voice sounds. And then once I'm not sick, I go back to sounding ridiculous. But if my voice sounds a little bit different, I'm almost over it. It should be gone soon, and it is not the big C. I checked. It happens to me pretty much every time I travel extensively. I'll get a cold either there or on the way back. It's stressful. So I'm going to start off with the Dominique Cosmetics primer. I don't necessarily need my makeup to like wear forever because I'm just gonna be at home for the rest of the day. I need to rest and recover today. So I'm just gonna be home all day, so I don't really care about the wear time of my makeup as much right now. And then I'm going to take the Vitamin Enriched Eye Base. This is gonna be my under eye primer. You know, it feels like every single product that exists has had its moment. So I'm sure one of these days under eye primers will eventually be trendy because like companies are gonna have to keep coming up with stuff to make more money, right? I'm just gonna use what's on my desk, and the only reason this is on my desk is because I brought it with me to China. I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty Under Eye Brightener, which is such a good product. As soon as I can remember to, or as soon as I have time to, I'm gonna film a video talking about the makeup that ended up working for me while I was there. I'm honestly not really so sure how to use this. This kind of reminds me of like Hollywood Flawless Filter, which I still do want to get one of. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And I do really want to get the Glow-Less Mini from AURIC now that those exist. I just, again, haven't gotten around to it yet. So this kind of reminds me of that because these were like, every single brand was like making them for a while and kind of are still making them. So this is like WESTMAN Atelier's version. Now this is extremely expensive, so I'm not going to be using this and telling you guys to go out and get it because quite frankly, even if this looks really, really good, I have a really hard time justifying recommending something this expensive, especially because WESTMAN Atelier does tend to claim that their products are clean, and I always immediately get super suspicious of product lifespan whenever I see those claims. So this is Peau de Peche, and it's actually, I was worried it would be too dark, but it's actually pretty much right on tone for my skin, but it's a lot warmer than the pinky one, so it's not gonna make me look ashy. And as you can tell, it's definitely giving me a glow. It looks kind of more like my skin is just very wet and almost like oily or sweaty. I don't really see much shimmer in it at all, and I hardly see any on my fingers. Like you can see my fingers where I applied it, you can see no sparkles. The pearl is extremely fine, so you're not picking it up as individual particles. It feels like skincare, so it feels very hydrating, but at the same time I can feel it is setting down. But the only other thing from WESTMAN Atelier that I actually have had for I've had it for 2 years now, and it is the biscuit stick. And the smell, the crayon-y smell is like, you have to really smell it, and then it's super faint. So to me it just smells like a stick formulation with no added fragrance is what it smells like to me. It just smells like they didn't add fragrance to it. It doesn't smell like it's gone off. I've never had issues with it, and it still works just fine. It doesn't feel like it's dried out at all. So I've had this for 2 years, and honestly I think it's like fine. I feel like that's a good sign of the lifespan of their products. Even though they market it as clean, this has lasted me 2 years and it's not changed a single bit. Like it's just as good as the day I remember it. I'm going to use the SURRATT Dewdrop foundation. My foundation collection is honestly like kind of stale because it's not changed for a really long time. But I'm going to use the Dewdrop foundation. It doesn't have full coverage, which is kind of what I tend to prefer. But if I use full coverage, then I'm going to kind of negate the entire point of this WESTMAN Atelier highlighter. So I'm going to use this. I do really want to try using a palette and spatula. I just haven't gotten around to getting one yet. I want to get one from Picasso, which is on Olive Young, but I just haven't really been able to justify spending the $60 to get free shipping, which honestly, I can totally spare $60 because there are some new releases from Romand I really, really, really want that are on Olive Young Global now, but it's hard to get over the guilt. I'll probably end up doing it in August, I think. My cat's annual vet appointments are all in the very beginning of August, so I need to see how much those end up being before I make any further decisions. So as you can see, I have some redness, probably just like from being sick and stress and whatnot. So I have some redness here that just popped up this morning that the SURRATT foundation cannot completely cover. Honestly, this foundation is just okay. I'm glad I got it for, I got it like 60 to 70% off, and I'm glad I did because it is just okay. But as you can see, the Westman Atelier glow is still coming through. So this will be my first time in a very, very long time applying concealer, so hopefully I didn't forget how. No, I remember how, which is nice. It's still a little bit showing through, but I'm not going to fuss with it too much. So for the center of my face, I'm going to use this powder from Flower Nose. It is the Mermaid collection. It is in the shade 01. Product inside is, no joke, the Flower Nose, and a lot of Chinese beauty brands in general do make just very, very, very good setting powders. If you want a completely matte blurring setting powder that will make your pores disappear, make you look matte, Chinese powders are going to probably be it for you. You do want to make sure you try and go for one that is as non-tinted as possible, because the tinted ones, I swear some of them are just like literally you're putting like white chalk on your face. They're so light. But if you go for one that's a little bit less tinted or a little bit more translucent, you can totally avoid that problem. So I'm just gonna put this on the center of my face, and you can see it just completely mattifies and also blurs out my skin. Yeah, I'm not really happy about all the redness on my face right now. You can see the foundation basically doesn't cover any of it, which is like fine, I guess. I'm going to use the Benefit Precisely My Brow today just so I can use something different, give my brow balance a break. My mom also used my brow balance while I was there. She was like, I didn't really bring much makeup because I figured I could just use what you brought, and I was like, I love you, Mom. Actually, I think this eyebrow turned out better today. But as you can see, my eyebrows are like so unsymmetrical because one of them is actually higher than the other, so I never can get them to look the same. Yeah, it is what it is. We'll just leave it at that. And then I'm gonna use my Glossier Brow Flick. This is actually a new one because I emptied mine while I was there, and I do love being able to use a brand spanking new brow pen because there's just something so satisfying about the feeling of a fresh brush tip. Okay, so I realized I actually have the perfect products right in front of me, and that would be the AURIC shade Disrupt. Yeah, I really need to make sure I get more use out of these. I don't ever expect to like finish anything, but I at least just want to be able to say that I had fun with it and that I don't regret using it as little as I did. I'm going to use this as the basis for the smoky eye. The AURIC products at this point I think are what, like just like a year old maybe? It's not from very long ago, and I have Tom Ford cream shadows that I've had for longer that are still just as good as the day I got them. So if this is already starting to fade out on me, honestly I don't really like that because I have had cream products last for forever. It's still perfectly easy to work with, as you can see. I just have to build up more layers. It is still blending out very easily and it's still very pretty. But using the Sigma brush, I noticed that it did behave a little bit differently, so I'm going to try and layer on more on my upper eyelid with a Sigma brush. This is a little bit more dense as well, and I think it's working better. That Morphe brush could have also just been a very bad match for this formula. I'm gonna have to do some investigating and see if this is drying out on me or not. Okay, so I'm going to use this as my base. So I'm gonna go in with matte shadows on top of this. I'm not sure how well it's gonna go. There's a high chance these mattes may end up kind of sticking and not blending really well, but we'll do our best. So I'm going to use a very fluffy synthetic brush for this, and I'm going to go into the shade, I think I'm gonna go into the shade Venetian right here. Or no, I'm gonna go into Mahogany, which is a little bit darker. Here, I'm gonna use this shade. I don't want my eye look to be overtly and explicitly red. I just want it to kind of be like it has red vibes, but I don't really want it to be incorporating actual primary red into my look. So going a little bit more plum helps with that. So as you can see, I'm just adding a little bit of this and I'm keeping it really tight to my lash line, and then I'm doing like really tiny, winging it out very slightly. I'm just doing extremely tiny dips into the pan, so I'm applying very little product at a time. I've been doing so many super easy simple eye looks that doing anything substantial I may need to, you know, just kind of practice, rebuild my skills back up. I do fully intend on doing a video where I kind of show that look that I do when I'm in China, just kind of the default makeup I go for, because honestly it was so pretty, but I didn't really have a good camera with me or anything, so it's not like I could take good pictures, which is why I don't have any actual pictures of what my makeup wore. I'm gonna take an even looser brush now. I think this is just like a BH Cosmetics one, and I'm going to go into the shade right here. And I'm going to use this to blend out everything. And this brown is slightly warm, so it'll also add warmth to the smoky eye that I want. Yeah, I will say I do really like most of Unearthly Cosmetics matte shadows. I think the matte formula that they've got going is really great. Gently replicate that on this eye as well. I'm still bitter about Warms My Blood. I don't think I will ever not be mad about that unless she brings it back, but I don't know if she will. I really wished with my whole heart that she had done that flash sale after I had gotten back. Holding out hope that maybe someday I can track it down. Gently used, or maybe there's somebody online who got it in PR and doesn't need it anymore. Maybe I can get it off of them. Hopefully, even if it never comes back, hopefully someday I can find it. But yeah, you can see I just got this very gentle, warm, smoky eye with just a hint of red. So I am going to now go into this Cosmetics shadow. This is called Starchild. As you can see, I've not used it yet. So I'm going to gently use this across my eyelid. I think I'm going to focus it on the inner part. These shadows are kind of a little bit more putty-ish, not quite to the level of a Super Shock, but they don't work super well with the brush. As you can see, you see how the brush mark altered and left indentations in the pan. So it is slightly soft, so these do work better with your finger. I've used the other shades way more. I just hadn't yet had an excuse to use this one. I don't want to use this right in my inner corner. I'm going to use a different shade for that, but I kind of want to just put it right here. And I'm just going to disperse it lightly. I don't want it to cover up all that hard work. But you can see, like, they're very versatile. I do really like them for that. I feel like I can either have a very opaque, I can have like an opaque metallic look, or I can make it more like a topper. I will go ahead and for my inner corner and just to embellish the look, I'm going to go ahead and use the top of this. You can see the reflect in the mirror. It is duochrome, which is cute. So I'm going to use this over everything, just for a little extra pizzazz. Now this red to pink kind of duochrome, I have said before, it's not really my favorite shade shift ever. I don't generally go for this shade. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and use this on my inner corner. It's a little bit dark, but I will just use another highlighter on top. Yeah, it looks good from the front, but then it has a cast. Okay, well that didn't quite turn out as I expected. I'm gonna use Icicle, which is a Jaclyn Cosmetics single, and I actually ended up using this quite a bit. I'm gonna use this on top of the inner corner. It is slightly translucent, so it will brighten up the inner corner without changing the color completely. And I finally did figure out the trick to really get it to transfer from the pan to the brush to the eyelid, and that is to just use a flat synthetic brush, one that has shorter bristles like this one. That looks so much better, and actually I actually do unironically think Icicle is super pretty. So I don't think this is available anymore, but even if it was, I can't really necessarily say I can recommend her brand anymore. But I have what I have, so I'm going to keep using it. Okay, so that definitely made a very big difference, a very nice big improvement, and the particles, as you can see, are a lot finer than the ones from Phytosurgeons, which is why I wanted to go for this instead of Phytosurgeons today. So I'm gonna use really low key from DOE Lashes. Good old reliable pair of lashes. I just have to cut off a little bit in the front. Okay, I'm going to use the MAC MACStack Mascara on my lower lashes. I feel like this gives really great volume. I'm just not even gonna bother to clean that up because I'm just gonna make it worse. It'll just look like I have clumpy lashes. I got this from Selfridges. This is the limited edition one with the floral packaging, and it was on super sale, and I have Selfridges Plus, so I got it because it was really cheap that way. But I do really like the MAC MACStack Mascara just objectively as a mascara. So what I need to do, I need to get the micro version because this is for people with big beautiful eyes. This is not for people like me with small beautiful eyes. and I'm glad that MAC has two versions. Like, I'm very happy about that. I would benefit from some eyeliner. So I'm going to use the Shiseido eyeliner in the shade Brown 02. I usually am a huge Shiseido makeup stan. I feel like their makeup has never done me wrong, but this eyeliner's wear time is not what I was hoping for. I'll have to be honest. It doesn't like smudge or it doesn't get messy, but it fades. And I was really let down when I saw it do that. But I do really like the precise tip. Also, it's so soft that I just broke the tip off. It's so soft. I know I just blocked all of that with my mirror, but I mean, I just put it like right there for you, and it just sharpens up my inner corner really nicely. I did not put powder on this section of my face. I have seen very polarizing reviews of these blushes. So far, I've not had any problems with hard pan or anything, but I wonder if that might have had something to do with it because pretty much everyone online, you know, they all swatch their stuff so that you can actually see the color. And because they swatch their stuff is why I don't have to. Like, I depend on everyone else doing that so that I can just escape that responsibility. But I sometimes wonder if that's why mine haven't hard panned or done anything strange. It's just because these don't like it when there's skin oils on them, which is still not acceptable because these are really expensive. They shouldn't be that high maintenance if you're paying 40 bucks. 40 bucks? I'm not gonna recommend it one way or another. I don't really like recommending people go and buy stuff that is this expensive, but if you choose to do so, I personally don't see why it would be bad, I guess. But buy with caution, as usual. So as you can see, I put on a ton because I like it that way. I have blush, and I also, you know, I do really like making sure, especially when it connects with my lower eyeshadow, I feel like it just really helps with making my whole face look nice. So I like how that looks. So that is my blush, and then for bronzer, I wasn't able to bring this because I was afraid that it was going to break, and also it is kind of bulky having the whole double layer thing. And this is the L'Oreal Infallible bronzer. It is in the shade, it's in 200, so it's the lightest shade. I'm gonna use this today. I only used this like once before I had to go, and from that one use it was really good. So I don't want to use a completely cool contour, but I don't want it to be too warm either, so this should be good. And as I've mentioned before, I don't really like getting super dark bronzers or contours because I am so prone to over applying them, and then there's no going back from that. So I always get the lightest shade possible, so that way it is just basically impossible to over apply. As you can see, I'm able to apply a lot of light layers and apply it pretty loosely, and then I am going to just put a little bit under my nose to contour the bottom of my nose. But yeah, that's a nice bronzer. It is very expensive. I mean, like, seriously, L'Oreal drugstore is like, they're like basically high-end now, it feels like, or like not luxury, like it feels like they're so close in price to like Too Faced and Rare Beauty. It's crazy. I got that on sale though, so like, you know, just like wait for a sale, I guess. I'm going to use this Charlotte Tilbury one. It's the Moonlit Glow one. I really want to try the Too Faced Cosmic Crush one, mostly just because it has moon and stars on it. I'll be honest, at least I'm being honest. So I'm just gonna take a little bit on my finger. That's enough for both cheeks. I don't feel like I ever get good results with the brush. I'm not sure why. I wonder if it just has something to do with my skin being really dry. Okay, so that's highlighter. I'm not gonna put any on my chin or anything because it's been 3 hours, so my skin is starting to glow a little bit on its own. But that's what that's looking like. So that's the Peau de Peche is there, and then I put the highlighter on top. I feel like it just, you know, it looks really nice. I feel like the Westman Atelier highlighter is a little hard to see under all of this, so it's definitely more geared towards like super light makeup, which of course is like what I never do. But I am gonna also I do kind of want to test this on top of foundation as well. I am feeling like because of the hydrating lotiony feel to this that this might just like eat the foundation, but I have to try. I am going to put on some lip liner. I'm going to use Buxom Confidential, and then I'm going to put on a glossier lip. I was going to go for something matte, but no. And I still have another video I have to film after this, so my throat is really gonna like me after this. Okay, that was a really rough job because I haven't lined my lips also in like 2 weeks. So I'm gonna just go for a simple dewier lip look. I think I'm gonna go for this. This is the Unleashia Non-Sticky Dazzle Tint. Now, they at this point have gone through 3 iterations of packaging and formula. So this is the first one. Oval tube, clear top. They turned into this, which these are just not the same. They really are not the same. And then it turned into this. This absolutely sucks. And then I just saw Judy's video, they renewed again. And I'm just not gonna bother. I'm not gonna take that risk anymore. So I'm gonna use this, and this is in the shade number 4. It's just not the same. They are so much more slippery. They don't apply evenly. They're sheer. The first one applied so evenly. I don't know why they have to break a good thing, but I'm gonna use this because the shade is nice. But I think you can tell just how thin of a layer I'm getting. At the very least, it's kind of even, but it is so thin. Like, if this had come out with no other version, I think I would have liked it, but comparing this to the first version, it just can't stand up. As you can see, my background is a mess because I took it apart to clean and then it just never got put back together. But here is everything. My hair is very frizzy, whatever. This is why I really want the Dyson Air Straight, but as you can see, I have red highlights in my hair. So yeah, that's gonna be this video. I always love being in China and I love being there, but I am also glad to be back. With that being said, I'm gonna end this video. I will have a video upcoming of some cute things I got while I was there. I did end up doing a little bit more shopping than I anticipated because we thought we were going to be there and it was going to be really depressing, but it ended up being really fine, and with Grandpa being on the up and up, it ended up all working out, and it just ended up being an excuse for there to be a family reunion, so we all had fun, which means we all went to the mall and did shopping. It's just gonna happen. So I will have a video later of some of the cute things I got while I was there because I actually got a bunch of really cute things that I kind of want to show off. With that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for always being so understanding and kind. I appreciate it. I hope you guys will stick around. I've got lots of content upcoming. And with that being said, see you guys next time. Bye-bye!